Hey, what's going on YouTube? Chuckles again with another Hearthstone video. Today I want to take another look at one of my decks. I want to take a look at the... which one is it here? Oh, my Control Paladin deck. Here we go. So, the Control Paladin happens to be one of my favorite decks. It's not very viable, I'll be completely honest. Paladin is not a class that you want to use when you're rank, I don't know, 7+. You do not want to try to get Legend with a Paladin deck. It will take you forever. It just doesn't work out, but... in early ranks, I'd say 25 all the way to probably somewhere around 10 or 11 rank. It's halfway decent, and it just happens to be extremely fun to play. So this is my spin on the Healadin / Control Paladin deck. So let's go ahead and take a look at the curve. So we're using 0 0-drops, 0 1-drops, 3 2s, which we don't need a whole lot of 2s because your 2-drop is mainly going to be your Reinforce, your Pally power. I got 8 3-drops, 8 4-drops, 3 5s, 2 6s, and then 6 7+. So let's get into the cards, and then we'll talk a little bit about the strategy. So as for the only 3 2-drops that we have, I run 2 equalities because the card is overpowered as all get out. It's just wonderful. You can combo it with your Reinforces. It'll change the health of, say, an 8/8 minion down to 1 health, and then you can just ram it with your Reinforce and boom, kills it. It's awesome. Wild Pyromancer, after you cast a spell, deal 1 damage to all minions. It's another 2-drop, 3 attack, 2 health. You use it for board clear purposes. It's good against Zoolock. There's a few things in here that I put specifically focused on Zoolock and that matchup. So, Sword of Justice, our first 3-drop. Excuse me. So whenever you summon a minion, give it +1/+1, and then the sword loses 1 of its durability. So I use it for your Reinforces mainly. So on turn 3, you'll play the Sword of Justice. Next turn, you can play, you know, your Reinforce and another 2-drop, or you can wait until turn 5, and then you can play the sword and then straight up just play a Reinforce. But that's mainly what I use it for. You can also use it later game for some of the legendaries that's in the deck. So next I run with 2 Acolytes of Pain. It's a 3-drop for a 1 attack, 3 health creature, but whenever it takes damage, you draw a card. So this helps tremendously with the Paladin's lack of card draw. That's what I use it for. It's that and comboed with Azure Drake. It just makes everything wonderful for drawing cards because Paladin doesn't have a whole lot of card draw, and that's one of their downfalls. Next 3-drop, Aldor Peacekeeper. Battlecry, change an enemy minion's attack to 1. It's awesome for that turn 4 or turn 5 taunter, and you need to attack it with your True Silver in order to kill it or something like that. It just allows you to take less damage. Next, I run 1 BGH, Big Game Hunter. Battlecry, destroy a minion with an attack of 7 or more. I use this mainly for like Ragnaros decks, you know, Deathwing or Alexstrasza, whatever it happens to be. You play this card in order to destroy their big minion. 2 Earthen Ring Farseers. Restore 3 health, 3-drop for 3 attack, 3 health. It's mainly for the health, restoring the 3 health. It's not a bad minion, 3 for 3/3. Not too terrible, but I mainly use it for the health. And with this particular one, with this deck, there's a lot of health gain. It's not as much as it could be. I don't have either one of the Holy Lights or anything like that, but I mainly use the Earthen Ring Farseer to heal up a creature of mine, one of my bigger creatures. So, next, first 4-drop, we're running with 2 True Silver Champions. Best weapon in the game, in my opinion. Well, I guess that's debatable with this and the Eagle Horn Bow for the Hunter, but because that card is completely underrated. But I love the True Silver Champion. It has an attack power of 4, and you can use it on turn 4, which on turn 4, usually they're going to either drop like a Sinjin or a Violet Teacher or something like that, and this just helps clear it up, get it out of there. 2 Blessing of Kings. So give a minion +4 attack, +4 health. What I use this for is comboed with the Sword of Justice. When you play your Reinforce, it then becomes a 2/2, and then you wait until the next turn because a lot of people are like, oh, it's just a 2/2, I'm going to leave it alone. When you have bigger creatures on the board, and then you can slap a Blessing of Kings on it, and now it's a 6/6, and then you can go straight to the face for that little bit of damage that Paladin is missing. So Blessing of Kings, do not be afraid to give it to your Reinforce. Even if it's only a 1/1, it's a guaranteed 5 damage after that. Next, we're running with 2 Consecrations. Deal 2 damage to all enemies. This is just Pally's bread and butter. You combo that with Equality, and it's a board clear every time. So, just awesome card in general. Next 4-drop, we're running with 2 Sinjin Shieldmasters, the Taz Dingo, 3/5 with Taunt. So why I run this is because of Zoolock. When they have a bunch of their 1/1s and then they start dropping their Dire Wolves, you might be able to get 2-3 minions easily out of this one Taunter on turn 4. So it's just a great card to have in the deck. So stops aggro right in its tracks. It's also good against Aggro Warrior, because on turn 4, if he plays the Korkron Elite, the 4/3 with charge, then this stops it as well. So that's why I run with the Sinjins. First 5-drop, 2 Azure Drakes for the card draw. The spell damage is nice, but it's mainly for the card draw, and it also gives you a 4/4 on the board, so win-win in my situation. Next, I'm only running 1 Faceless Manipulator. This is for the early game. Turn 5, if they happen to coin out like a Cairn or something along those lines, or if you pull out your Cairn and then next turn they haven't killed it, well, boom, Faceless it. Now you got 2 Cairns. I mean, can't complain with that. Or, if they throw out a Ragnaros and then you Faceless the Ragnaros and then big game it on turn 8. Done. So I just, all around, it's good to have at least 1 Faceless in pretty much every deck you run, with the exception of like Zoolock. Nobody wants that, or a Murloc deck or something. First 6-drop, I run with Avenging Wrath. Deal 8 damage randomly split among enemy characters. If you have an Azure Drake on the board, it does 9. So what I like about this card is the 6 mana cost is kind of steep, but it can act as a late game board clear. If they happen to have, a 4/3, a 2/2, and a 1/1 or something, it'll, generally speaking, mop up the floor with most of the entire board. So we are going for a control premise, so Avenging Wrath helps out a lot. I only put 1 in here because I was going to use 2, but I decided to take 1 out and put in a Lay on Hands, and we'll get to that in a second. So the first 6-drop is a Cairn Bloodhoof, legendary. Death Rattle, summon another 4/5 Bane Bloodhoof. So you get, for the cost of 6 mana, you get 2 4/5s. That's a no-brainer when it comes to a Paladin control deck. I'll take them. First 7-drop, we're running with 2 Guardian of Kings, 5/6 creature, 7 mana cost, and restore 6 health to your hero. It's awesome for those rush decks. It's awesome to pick up your health after you've been beat down by Zoo and you're just now starting to take control. It's just wonderful. I absolutely love this card. It's probably one of my favorite cards in the entire game, to be honest. Next, like I said, the 1 Lay on Hands, it's for the card draw. The Restore 8 health is a plus, but it's just to get the extra cards in your hand, so you can just continually keep firing away with creatures. Next, we run with Ragnaros. Why not? It's a control deck. It's got a spot available. Ragnaros is the man. So, generally speaking, he'll either snipe out a big creature for you, or a small creature if that's all they have, or it'll do 8 damage straight to the opponent's face. It can't go wrong. Next, 8-drop for a 6/6 Tyrian Fordring. This is one of my favorite legendaries in Hearthstone, and it fits quite nicely in the deck. He comes out with Divine Shield and Taunt, so you have to essentially attack him, and then kill him, and then once you kill him, it gives you a Death Rattle. You get a 5/3 Ashbringer, which is a weapon. So then you can just use that weapon to clear even more of the board. It's just awesome all around. Win-win-win when it comes to the Control Paladin deck. Next, Alexstrasza. This is the one card in the deck that I would say is not optional. You could switch out a lot if you don't have the Tyrian Fordring, you don't have the Ragnaros, you don't have the Cairn. You could go with like Chillwind Yetis or another Faceless Manipulator or something along those lines. Another big game hunter if you happen to find that you're going up against a lot of different, or a lot of bigger creatures in the current meta. But the Alexstrasza you do have to have. It's not for healing you, it's for taking them down. So the whole premise and strategy is to use your creatures to get rid of their creatures and clear the board. Well, if you're using your creatures to kill their creatures, you're not doing any damage to the opponent's face, which means the game's just going to take forever. So you use Alexstrasza in order to bring them down to half health, dealing 15 damage in one semi-fatal blow, and then you bring out your Ragnaros, which is going to hit him for 8, and so on and so forth. So this is really the game ender. I love Alexstrasza. This goes in a lot of my decks. So again, like I said, the strategy behind the deck is to control the board, Don't get eaten alive by aggro decks. Don't be afraid to use some of your heals on your creatures as opposed to you. And try and reinforce as much as possible. That way you always have a creature out so you can buff it with your Blessing of Kings or so on and so forth. Use your board clears wisely and go for card draw, and then eventually it's just going to be GG. So that is my personal Control Paladin deck with a little bit of healing involved. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks, guys.